Marco De Luca. He does this magnificent work. This is huge, again, just huge. And it's really work, this picture doesn't do it justice. It's really work of like color field. You know, these are color fields. And they're layered in this very subtle way, one on top of the other, so that if you were with it, the images kind of start to float in, push back. There's such a mastery of color that, and again, these huge works that were really yummy to be around. And then finally, and I know, Carol, you may contribute here some to this. This is Ariana Gallo and Luca Barberini with Coco Mosaic. They're married. Luca's work, which is the kind of the most exciting work, to be honest, is featured here on either side. And then you can see his wife, she works in this very classical way, right? All in the same studio. And his work is, it's very political, it's very, these are really big. You see these little people kind of being eaten up by these plants. They're very big works. Here's another piece that's not as big, but you know, these waves of people, right? And
does he make those out of ceramic?
no, I think that is, Carol, is that, I think it's small.
Small tea, it's a little stained glass, but mostly small tea.
Yeah.
And the field is thin set, which is really interesting. He's using the negative space on the thin set is as important as the pieces he's laying.
And is it a texture?
He tends to smooth it.
Yeah.
Smooth it, very smooth.
And he's a young guy, as you can see in the picture, and he's also really interested in how do mosaic artists kind of be very much in the modern world. So, for example, he had this one thing that was super cool, and he's looking for another thing to do now. In fact, maybe he figured it out, another idea. But he did this whole thing that was about maybe 2 or 3 panels, ceiling to floor to ceiling, with I'm going to guess they're like 5 by 5 inch pieces in them.
Yeah.
And they're windows. So these are supposed to be like big apartment buildings, and then his idea of what might be going on in them. And then so that, you know, so that people could be owners of mosaic work on Facebook, he opened up the opportunity to bid on them. So you could buy them for like, I think, €50, and then, you know, over time, then they went up to €100. And now I think, and he did it, he said, I'm doing it until they're gone, and then I'll come up with something else. But it's this way of kind of saying, how do I market myself, yeah, and how do I make mosaics part of like the modern kind of vernacular and currency. And Carol, you went to the studio and studied this.
Yeah, actually Susan Starr and I went and we took one-day class, which was really interesting because the one-day class was taught by his wife, and what they've done is maximize the way their studio functions to make money, which I totally respect. You have to do that to survive. So if you take a one-day class there, which is what I took, and I brought the piece I made as a sample of what you can achieve there in one day. So it was a one-day, piece-by-piece reproduction of a small piece of the Good Shepherd from one of the Ravenna mosaics. In that one day, they make sure no matter who you are and where you are on the spectrum of mosaic skill, you walk out with a perfect piece. But that's very expensive because someone actually sits next to it and makes sure that it works out right. And when you leave at 5 o'clock, it is done. And so that was fascinating to me because I'd never taken a class where it was so, but in the same room, there was someone who was taking a week-long class. That was very different. That was about making you learn more. Then there was someone who came once a week or twice a week for months, and at one point for half a day, a family of 5, and they pumped out, as a family of 5, everybody works on it together with 2 or 3 other people from the studio, they pumped out maybe a 4 by 4 foot something that was beautiful in the end. They're geniuses in terms of how they run that studio.
Yeah, and a working studio that's also an opportunity for tourism,
And if you go for the week class, I think you would learn a huge amount.
Yeah.
I think the one-day class was a really good experience, and if you bring people with you to Ravenna, that would be a great thing to do with group of people whose mosaic thing was maybe just starting, or it was a lot of fun, it was very hot, it was a good sit for a day. But if you could go for a week, that studio would be great.
The other cool thing is that, these places, Roberta's Film, whatever, they're all about mosaics. That's why people go. So the other thing is it's almost like you get to make it take it, right?
Yes.
It's like a make it take it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, well, good, because you're up.
Okay.
And, so I just want to say, I took this picture.
With my iPhone. And actually, it would look different today, don't it? Right?
Yeah, it does. I saw it on Instagram. The Orsoni factory is flooded. But they were able to, preserve the kilns and life is gonna go on, but it's,
Yeah.
I
flooded.
read about the flooding in Venice part.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
highest alcohol in over 50 years. Anyway, we both got the opportunity to stay over the Orsoni factory at the Domus Orsoni, which is their B&B, which has like 6 rooms. And these are some of the works that were everywhere in the bed and
Like that could
breakfast.
be your bathroom.
That was my bed.
That was your bed.
And this is just the, public space, with beautiful works everywhere. This was a table, this was a, sort of a view of Venice
Like the
done in gold.
triptych,
Yeah, triptych.
I stayed there a couple years ago, and I have an art book that features an Orsoni piece of gold smalty that's done in like varying shades. And I was floored to be sitting there eating breakfast, and on the breakfast room, there is his paint, there is his mosaic. That's just astounding.
Well, the Orsoni Glassworks was actually founded in the late 1800s by Orsoni, who had worked for another glass fabricator and then broke off and went on his own. And it was Orsoni who, at the expedition in France in like 1889 in Paris, brought mosaics of a secular nature to the world, and mosaics had never been used in non-religious works until that time. So we can credit the Orsoni factory for bringing us these wonderful mosaics that we see everywhere. And this was their color library, which has over 3,000 colors of smalty. It was you cannot believe, it was just absolutely incredible. And they even have a gold bathroom, which we don't have a picture of here, that had something like 1,000 kilos of gold smalty. All of the walls, all of the surfaces were done in gold. And of course, you go there to do a workshop, you're not using that bathroom. It's just for their guests and when they do, parties or whatever. But this slide shows actually glass smalty in production. So the gold leaf is first laid on clear glass, and then it's sandwiched to other colors of glass, and that's the picture on the left has the different colors of gold smalty that are made by Orsoni. And this is just a picture of 5 out of the 6 of the women in my group who did our workshop with Murray.
How many days?
It was only 3 days of the workshop, but we could be in there from 9 in the morning till 9 at night if we wanted. We always took a break for lunch and dinner, and some of us would go back to work for a couple hours at night. The cool thing was, the bed and breakfast is over the factory, and the workers got in at about 7 o'clock. So you would hear them cutting the pizzas with a machine that cuts it into the smalty that you can buy already. It was very, very, very cool. So Murray's technique teaches, what she does is you send her a picture and she photoshops it and she prints it out in color for you. And you work right on top of one of the color images that she has already adhered to a board. and you use pieces of small, medium, and large sizes. She teaches you to insert, as I said before, shards of fragments of other colors to make your colors pop. And I now know, I hear this in my head when I think of my workshop. So there were a couple of women who had taken workshops with Lorraine before, and upon sweeping the floor, they would go, shards, 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 like, don't throw those out, those are very valuable, and they actually were. So Lorraine's special technique, and I don't know if she developed this technique or if it was something she learned in Spilimbergo or something else, but she teaches a way of faceting, which you can't see in any of these pictures, but you're welcome to come up and look at the piece that I did. And what you do is, you use a piece of smalty that's pretty much a rectangular piece because you have to support it on your hearting. And then you hold your hammer.
Do you want the light on? Pardon me, do you want the light on so people can see?
Sure, yeah, we're done with the slideshow. So the hammer, normally when you're using a hammer, like this, right? So you hold it down near the neck, where it meets the blade, and you're taking off what she calls the skin of the smalty. And it gives a lot of dimension and reflection to, the pieces. You're welcome to, this is a bag of remnants from what she calls the workshop, the river of smalty, and there's actually a river of smalty in smaller cut pieces, but then what is made available to you are pieces of